Amjad Bashir, Conservative MEP for Yorkshire and the Humber. Why did you decide to defect, and do you now regret it?
I don't regret it. I think it was a good move for the people of Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire. It was done out of principle because I said to my electorate that I believed in calling for a referendum on the EU. I'm critical, I was critical then and I'm still critical of the workings of the EU, the bureaucracy and the red tape. And I think that's best deliverable with the Conservative Party. It's the only party that's electable, that can and has promised a referendum. UKIP will not have the mandate to do that. If it gets a handful of MPs, they'll be lucky. The Conservatives stand a very good chance of forming the next government, and therefore they're the best people to deliver that promise that I made.
What do you now think of your former party? What do you now think about UKIP?
Some of them are very, very good colleagues of mine. I do not want to in any way run down my former colleagues. I believe that I've done right to go with the Conservative Party. I'd like to take the positive image of being with the right party, fighting for the right party for the forthcoming elections. A very successful party who's turned around the economy, made it a great success, the most successful economy in Europe, and I'm proud to be a part of the Conservative team.
You say you don't want to run down your former colleagues. They are certainly running down on you. They are very critical of your decision to defect. They say you have a lack of principles and they've called for you to resign.
They've said, they've made several accusations. These have run down my character. I am in the hands of my solicitors as far as that's concerned, and I'm seeking to have legal redress. So therefore I can't comment a lot on that because it's in the hands of the lawyers, but that's the way it is at the moment.
Do you see UKIP as a viable party? After all, originally you went to them, you were elected as a UKIP MEP.
I don't see them as a viable party. Having been in there, having been in Parliament for the last 6 months, I do not think that they are a right representative of the British people. It's not right that having been elected, that you do not participate in committees, that you do not vote but only one way, and that is negative. I think out of principle, I'm elected here, I get paid here, and therefore I have to do a good job for my country. And I will work tirelessly to get the legislation reformed. I will work tirelessly to bring back some of the money that our taxpayers pay into here, which UKIP fails to do. Always it has a dogma which says that we do not want to accept the existence of the EU. Well, I'm sad to say it, but it does exist and it does have these powers. We've had several treaties, including Maastricht, Lisbon, Rome, and they have these powers, and we have to fight against that to get the powers back. And I've always believed in being a team player, and not being able to participate is not my way.
Let's take then in turn some of the accusations against you. First of all, on your previous political parties that you've been a part of. Were you previously a member of the Respect Party, for example, as well as the Labour Party, the Conservatives and other local parties in the Bradford area? Do you accept that you were once involved and members of those parties?
Look, I've always been, in both spirit and in mind, a Conservative. For a good number of years I've been a Conservative member. I think I made a mistake in going to UKIP. I've learnt by that, and I'm back as a Conservative member and a Conservative member of the European Parliament. I think in a journey, a lifetime's journey, I'm 62 years old, to actually to have a look at other parties is not a sin, it's not a crime. But having said that, in spirit and in mind, I am a Conservative. I'm glad to be back as a Conservative member.
So nothing wrong from your point of view in changing parties over time, but do you admit that you were previously in the Labour Party, and do you admit you were previously in Respect, as has been claimed by those parties?
I have been a long time ago at the behest of my parents. My father was a wool worker in the mills, and he believed in the unions and the Labour Party. Although I disagreed with him, I did become a member of the Labour Party, but I wasn't an official. I wasn't elected in any post. I didn't get a salary or anything. I just was a mere member. I am now an elected member of Parliament, European Parliament, for the Conservative Party. I believe in the Conservative Party, therefore I'm in the right place at the right time.
And on Respect Party, the Respect Party says it has evidence that you were a member, that it has evidence that you were previously involved as a Respect Party member. You were a candidate in a county council election for them and then deselected, is what they claim.
George Galloway is a lonely man who wants to get some respect, hence the pun, and he wants to be in the limelight. I am a Conservative Member of Parliament. I am a Conservative. I want to work for the Conservative Party.
Were you previously in Respect?
I was never a member of Respect.
Let me ask you then about some of the other accusations that have been positioned against you. Do you have links with Pakistani extremists?
Not at all. If you look at my record, I am very much against the Taliban. I have made several speeches. They're always available on YouTube. I do sit on a very important community of human rights. Therefore, I get approached by a lot of people, politicians. Now, it's accused, some of the accusations are against the MQM. Now, MQM is a political party which in the last 20 years has been in coalition government in Pakistan. Its members have had several meetings with our own MPs and ministers in the United Kingdom. They're not on a home office list of prescribed parties, etc. Therefore, it's right that I meet people that have a concern about missing persons, about political victimization. That's in the context of what it is. I am not a member of any of these parties. I have never been, never intend to be. It's only right that if people come to me and say we're victims of persecution, I look at that and then I present the case to the Committee of Human Rights.
UKIP have made claims that you have at least questionable finances and employment issues hanging over from the past. Do you accept that you have some of these issues? Are there things that you would openly allow to be investigated when it comes to your business practices and when it comes to your finances as an MEP?
I have no issues to answer. It's an open book. I have nothing to hide. These are all baseless accusations, and I said earlier, they're in the hands of my lawyers.
What about from the point of view of your new colleagues, your new Conservative colleagues? When you meet with MEPs, Conservative MEPs around the Parliament, they are scared to be seen with you because of this long list of accusations. Isn't it the case that perhaps you're not well suited as a Conservative MEP?
Far from it. We've just been for a week away to Helsinki as a Conservative ECR group. We were invited there. We worked for 4 or 5 days together. We've a very strong team. I am very much part of that team. I'm welcome. I've been welcomed with open arms. Twice now I've met David Cameron. I've met lots of I've met the former education minister. I've met lots of ministers, and I'm very much part of the team and proud to be it.
The voters wanted a UKIP MEP. It's a UKIP MEP that they voted in. Shouldn't you now resign?
The voters wanted Amjad Bashir. The list, the electoral list, had my name on it. They voted for me. They knew who I was. They knew what I stood for, and that's what I'm going to stand for, and I'm going to represent them well. there is history in the European Parliament. Previously, other MEPs have left UKIP, some have joined UKIP, some have left the Liberal Democrats and joined us in the Conservative Party. It's a different mechanism when you compare it to Westminster. People don't have to resign. I've left the UKIP and joined the Conservatives, and I intend to stick to my principles and fight hard for the referendum, and I will work tirelessly for us to leave the EU. These are things that I promised the electorate. That's what I intend to deliver.
You don't have to resign, but you could still resign. You could decide that the electorate chose for UKIP, not for Conservative. Are you now going to do that?
It's never happened before. Always people leave a party and join a new party. That's what I've done. I've done nothing different compared to Roger Helmer when he left and joined UKIP. UKIP make this accusation against me, but why did they embrace Roger Helmer and didn't ask him to resign? They took him on. So I don't think that's right, that we should have this jaundiced view.